Very good morning to you all. Welcome back to our auditing class. In the previous class, we have been discussing all about vouching when it's all related to interest on income received. Okay. So when interest is received, it is through various sources such as interest on bank deposit, interest on investment, debentures and bonds, and also interest received on loan. Okay. So, what are the precautions that an auditor need to take when he is vouching interest on bank deposit, when he is vouching interest received on investment, debentures and bond? These points we have already discussed. Okay. So, today we will proceed with the precautions or the care that an auditor has to undertake when it comes to interest received on loan. Okay, what precaution he has to take when he is vouching the transactions which are connected with interest received. So students, when it is interest received on loan, auditor has to be very cautious and he has to uh, undertake the certain precautions. That is, he has to very first check the agreement between the client and the borrower of the loan. Okay, the loan is actually issued by the organization, correct, and that is the his client and the borrower. So what is the agreement between them? Okay, what's the rate of interest that is decided when the payment need to be done? Okay, so agreement has to be verified, it should be thoroughly checked, it should be studied properly by the auditor. So what all terms and conditions are agreed upon, that should be known to the auditor. Okay, and he should also check the bank passbook. Okay, why bank passbook he has to check? Because as the client has issued loan to the borrower and he's charging certain rate of interest, isn't it, on the loan? So borrower has to pay the timely interest, so that interest will get credited into the bank account. So auditor has to check the bank passbook and verify that the periodic rate interest amount on the loan is received or not. Okay, that is the first point. Then he has to thoroughly check the calculation of interest. See, interest is paid by the borrower, correct, on the loan that is issued by the client. Okay, so now whether the interest is properly received or not, as per the rate of interest decided, whether the calculations are properly done or not, and the date on which the interest needs to be paid, the date on which the interest has the date decided. Okay, on that particular date, whether the interest is received or not. So all this information is available in the bank passbook, because interest is getting credited in the bank account. Okay, so on which date, at what rate of interest, so the amount that is credited, the calculation need to be checked, so that auditor has to uh, thoroughly verify the calculation of interest. Okay, then whenever the interest is received, okay, when the loan amount is sanctioned and the interest is received, the client, they are going to issue a receipt to the borrower that so and so amount of interest is received. So when the receipts are issued, the counterfoil is filed in the file, correct, the counterfoil, in the sense, when the receipt is issued, the same contents, it is written in the counterfoil on the left hand side of the receipt book, or a carbon copy might have been maintained. So the date when it is received, amount when it is received, and the rate of interest, all these things, it's mentioned in the receipt that is issued to the borrower. So these counterfoils of the receipt that is issued should be properly examined, that is thoroughly verified. Okay, so what, as and when interest are received, accordingly the receipt must be issued. Extra receipt should not be issued, or interest received and receipt is not issued, even that should not be the case. So the accounting clerks, they have to undertake their work, they have to carry out their work in a proper manner. Okay, and he should also confirm that interest has been received. Okay, what all interest, the rate of interest that is decided, and the amount of interest that need to be paid, once it is paid, that is received by the client, should be confirmed. That is, interest is received as per the terms and condition decided, and not only that, the interest that is received, it should be properly accounted. It should be entered into the books of account. Okay, so when he is vouching the transaction, that is the interest amount, when he is vouching, he will verify the receipt that is issued to the borrower. So receipt is the proof, or we also call it as the original evidence that supports the interest amount that is received. So receipts are very important and they should be properly filed. So auditor has to take care. These are the precautions that he has to take care when he is vouching the interest that is received on loan. Okay. So after interest on income received, interest income received, the next topic that is found, the source of income that is found on the debit side of the cash book is the dividend on shares. Okay, so auditors has to he has to consider the following points, that is as you can see on the screen when he is vouching the dividend on shares. So first thing, when he is going through, or like dividend it is received, okay, so he should vouch it with the dividend warrants. So dividend warrants are available. He should thoroughly check the dividend amount that is received with the dividend warrants. Okay, and again, if the dividends are directly credited into the bank, then he has to verify all the bank statements. Okay, monthly bank statement he can get from the banks, ask the bank to issue the statements, and from that, if the dividends are directly credited, then he can verify the dividend amount from the bank statement. Okay, and dividends which are due, he has to check that all the dividends which is due and it is actually received, and not only received, it is also properly accounted for, in the sense it is entered into the books of accounts. So when it is directly credited into the bank account, accounting clerk sitting in the organization, he might not be aware of. So timely statements he has to get from the bank, and accordingly he has to account the dividend that is received. That is, entry for the dividend that is received should be passed in the books of account. Okay, then if the rate of dividend is fixed, if it is known, then auditor, he should also check the calculation of dividend. Okay, see, if the rate of dividend is not fixed, if it varies every time, then it is fine. Okay, auditor need not be very much cautious about the rate of interest, because the company, those are issuing dividend, they will definitely check out the calculation and they will pay it. But if the dividend rate is fixed, then auditor, they should also go through the calculations of dividend. And if those, in case of those shares, okay, that are sold ex dividend, or maybe like purchase come dividend, so in that case, auditor has to check out the sold notes and the bought notes that is issued by the broker, and he has to verify that the dividend which is due, it is actually received, okay, on the shares that are sold. So these are the precautions an auditor has to consider, has to undertake when they are actually vouching the dividend on shares. So transactions which are connected with the dividend on shares, which should be accounted, and when it is accounted, the proof that is required, the physical evidence or the what we call the supporting document that is required, he should vouch along with this. So auditor has to be very cautious, because as I've already told, when it is cash receipt, there are more chances of committing errors and frauds. So auditor has to be very cautious. Okay, so the next source of income on the debit side of the cash book, it is actually sale of investment. So when investments are sold, money is received. So this money that is received, okay, with the sale of investment, that also should be properly accounted for, and with the required documentary evidences. So auditor has to be very careful when they are vouching the sale of investment. That is, the money that is received through the sale of investment. So how he should vouch and what are the precautions that he need to take, it is available on your screen. Okay. So usually investments are sold through brokers. Okay. So on the broker's sold note, all the details of the sale of investment is actually mentioned. Okay. When it is sold, for what amount it is sold. So everything, all the details about the sale of investment, it is actually found on the broker's sold note, because he is involved, he has undertaken the transaction. So he is going to sell it out, the investment the broker is going to sell on behalf of the client. So brokers sold note should be thoroughly verified when investment are sold through a broker. Okay, I hope you have understood. When investments are sold through a broker, that is the middleman. Brokers are who? The middlemen or the agents through whom the sale of investment takes place. So when they sell it, they are going to give the broker's sold note. So in this sold note, everything, all the details about the sale of investment is actually mentioned. So auditor has to thoroughly verify the broker's sold note when the sale of investment takes place through the broker. Okay. And in case if the banks are involved here, so for example, if the banks are authorized to sell the investment, then the bank passbook and the advice note, okay, that should be vouched. That is the documentary evidence for the sale of investment. So money is received from the sale of investment, isn't it? So money that is received from the sale of investment, it is actually entered into the books of account. Okay. So what is the documentary proof? It is actually the bank passbook and the advice note. Means we are authorizing the bank. We in the sense the client. Okay. Client is asking the bank to sell the investment on their behalf. So they have advised the bank. So the advice note should be available. And when the amount gets like bank is authorized to sell the investment, when they sell the investment, amount is directly credited into the bank account. So bank passbook should be verified, because in that the amount is available. They will credit the transaction, that amount is available. So proof for the sale of investment that is accounted in the books of account of the client, it should be vouched with the bank passbook and the advice note. Okay, so this is the case when bank is authorized. If it is through agent, middleman or broker, broker's sold note should be verified. So sale of investment amount is entered in the book. So what is the documentary evidence? Broker's sold note, in case broker is involved. If bank is authorized, then bank passbook and advice note should be taken. Okay, it should be used for vouching the transaction. That is the sale of investment, money that is received through sale of investment, that which is accounted for, that is it is entered into the books of account with, it should be vouched, that is it should be verified with the documentary evidence. So bank passbook and advice note should be referred. Okay. If the investment that is sold, it is based on sold come dividend, in the sense the sale will take place and amount is received by the way of dividend. So periodic amount will be given to the client, that is it will be credited into the account directly, or it might be given, a check might be given or cash might be given, depends. Okay. So when it is based on sold come dividend, then dividend it is to be received subsequently. Okay. So based on the sale that is proceeded. So whether, again, because this is a income, see, when it comes to sale of investment, it is actually considered as capital. But when it is come based on sale come dividend, then it is to consider as revenue, because we are the client is getting the money by way of dividend. So in that case, it becomes the revenue. So proper apportionment should be done between the capital and revenue. So the auditor has to be careful. He has to properly verify whether it is sale of investment or sale come dividend. Okay, investment are sold based on sale come dividend. So the proper the apportionment between capital and revenue should be verified. Okay, so auditor has to be very careful in this regard. And also, if investment are sold based on sale x dividend, then auditor again he has to verify that dividend is received subsequently, periodically it has been received. And the when the investment is sold, okay, either it is sold at a profit or loss, isn't it? So the profit and loss on the sale of investment, it should be duly accounted, that it should be properly entered into the books of accounts. So when the investments are purchased and when it is sold, so it is sold either at a profit amount or there will be a loss. So with the profit or with the loss, either of the case, it should be properly accounted. If it is profit, the proper entry, journal entry should be passed into the books of accounts. So profit or loss on the sale of investment, it should be duly accounted. Okay, so this work of the book, entering the transactions, that is whether it is profit or sale, that is passing the journal entry, it is actually done by the accounting clerk. Auditor has to just verify that the properly accounting treatment is given in the books of account. That is his work. Okay, so whether profit or whether loss, but it is accounted, that should be verified by the auditor. So auditor has to be very cautious when he is vouching again the sale of investments. The next source of income on the debit side of the cash book is the rent received, isn't it? Rent received is again a income. So auditor, what precaution he has to take when it comes to rent received? So very first thing is he has to check the lease deed or the agreement, okay, between the tenant and the owner. Okay, the agreement should be first verified. Okay, that is the work of the auditor. When he is actually checking out the transaction, in one particular month the rent is received. So first thing what he is going to do, he is not going to tick the rent received. First thing what he is going to do, he is going to ask for the lease deeds or the agreement. So first he has to verify that what are the terms, the condition, the rent amount that is fixed, the date of payment that is fixed, to when the property is given on rent, and who will bear the repairing charges. Okay, all these terms and conditions, it is clearly mentioned in the agreement. So auditor's duty is to first thoroughly verify the lease deed or the agreement. So when he studies the lease deed or agreement, he will have a clear picture. So accordingly, what all transactions, what all entries are passed in the books of account, then he has to vouch. Okay, so if he does not verify the agreement, for example, in the agreement, the rent amount may be monthly, the rent amount may be 20,000, and in the books of account it is accounted as 19,000. So every month the 19,000 amount is there. So all 12 months, from April to March, 19,000 clearly it is given. So when there is the uniformity is there, when every month 19,000 is given, auditor may assume that okay fine, the rent amount fixed is 19,000. But he is wrong. He has not verified the agreement, because in that it is mentioned as 20,000. So when uniformity is there, now we tend to believe that okay fine, this might be the proper amount, because mistakes might be done in 1 month or 2 months, but all 12 months that mistake might not be done. No, so if it's auditor's duty that he has to do his work very much with alert, and he has to be vigilant. He has to check out the agreement first, no matter whatever is the amount, whether it is same amount in every month, that's the other point. But thing is that first thing that he has to check out is what is the rate of rent, the amount of rent, and what is the date of payment. What means, what are the terms and conditions that is decided upon by the owner and the tenant. Okay, so here the lease deed or the agreement, it should be actually verified. So when it is verified, they'll come to know, auditor will be getting a clear picture about the amount of rent that is to be received, when is the due date, and what provisions are to be made for the repairing of the outlet. So all this information he will get a clear idea. Okay, again agreement with the tenant, that again has to be properly checked, because from that he'll come to know the amount of rent that is actually received from the tenant. Okay, and if at all rent rolls are maintained, then he should compare it with the rent receipts. That is, whenever the rent is received, a receipt will be issued for that, isn't it? So when rent rolls are maintained, the rent receipt, it should be thoroughly verified. That is, compared and find out the right amount. That is, the rent received receipt, what amount is in available on the rent receipt and what amount is entered into the cash book. Both should be, when compared, both should have the same amount. Okay, the rent receipt and the cash book. If it differs, then he has to raise the query why the amount is differing. So what's the reason? So that explanation should be seeked, and if he is satisfied, then only he should pass that particular transaction. Otherwise, he has to keep it pending and seek the correct explanation. Okay. So again, the copies of receipt that is issued to the tenants, that also should be properly checked, because at time possibility is there that the rent, the what we call the counterfoil, may be having one amount, and the receipt that is issued to the tenant, that may have one amount. For example, when it is issued, when the receipt is issued, it may have contained the amount to 20,000, but in the counterfoil it may be mentioned as 19,000. There might be difference, isn't it? So from the tenants also, at times, like not every month, but at one point of time, the receipt of theirs, or when the carbon copies are mentioned, the receipt books counterfoil and the carbon copy, that also should be verified, just to find out that it has the same amount. Okay. If the company is having a good property, and if many properties are let out on rent, and in case if agents are appointed for collection of rent, then timely statements from the agent should be collected. That is, agent, they have to submit the statement, and that should again be properly verified. Okay, so agent, they will collect rent from the tenants and they will submit it to the client. Okay, so when they collect the rent every month, they have to submit a statement saying who's the tenant, what amount they have collected, when was the due date, what date they have collected the amount, what amount they have collected. So everything, all the details should be available in the statement. So if agents are involved for the collection of rent, their statement also should be verified. Okay, so auditor, he has to satisfy himself that all the rent due are received from the tenant. Okay, so every month a due date will be there, and as on particular date, what is the due amount that is received. So it might not be received on the due date itself, but it may extend as well. But auditor has to vouch it correctly, and he is to be satisfied that okay, what all amounts were due, all are timely, the rents are received. So he should be satisfied by himself. He should be aware that he should have concrete information that what all rents were due, they have been received on time. Okay, and when rent is not received, then for that proper adjustment entry should be passed. Okay, so auditor has to verify that the accounting treatment for the rent that is accrued, okay, but they are not received. In the sense, the due date is passed, means client is supposed to receive that income, that amount of income they are supposed to receive, but they are actually not received. So outstanding income is there, correct? No. So proper accounting treatment for the outstanding income should be passed into the books of accounts. So auditor has to take care that he has to satisfy himself that all the rent due are received, and those rent which are due but yet to be received, that is, interest is already accrued, income is already earned, but it is yet to be received. So for that, proper adjustment entries are passed. Okay, so auditor has to verify this. So this is all about what all precautions an auditor has to consider when he is vouching the rent received. Okay, so student, these all things are actually connected with cash receipt. Okay, when cash transactions are vouched, okay, cash transactions are vouched in the sense cash transactions are examined with documentary evidences. Auditor, for auditor there are two work actually. One, he has to verify the cash receipt, and one, he has to verify the cash payment. Okay, so up till now we are discussing actually all about the receipt part, cash receipt, the income that is received. So various sources of incomes are there. The cash sale is there. Correct now? Everything we are discussing. Cash sale is there. Rent received is there. Then amount that is receivable from the debtors, bills of exchanges are there. That is the amount through bills, okay, whether they are discounted or based on their maturity, isn't it? Then commissions are there. We have the rent received, okay. So all this amount are actually the source of income of, that is the cash receipt part. So auditor has to be very cautious when he is verifying the cash receipt. So the next source of income is commission received. Okay. Now again here same like rent, the lease deed or the agreement has to be verified. Okay. Same here also agreement between the client and the parties. Okay. From whom the commission is received, that agreement should be properly verified. Okay. By the auditor. He has to go through the agreement between the client and the party, and he has to understand the terms and conditions that are involved. That is, the rate of commission will be mentioned in that, the amount of commission and many other terms, the due date, when needs to be, on what particular date it has to be paid. Okay, if not paid, then what might be the penalty. Okay, these things are involved. So what are the terms and conditions that are mentioned in the agreement? That first the auditor has to thoroughly verify it. Okay, so before vouching the commission amount that is received, uh, when the commission amount is received, definitely accounting clerks, they are going to pass entry for the same in the books of accounts. So when auditor is vouching that commission amount, before vouching that, he has to first go through the agreement, that he has to properly study. And after that, once he understands the agreement, he should see that amount that is decided to be received as commission is received and it is duly entered into the cash book. Okay, that is, commission amount is received, and for that proper accounting treatment is passed in the books of accounts. So they are properly recorded in the cash book. So that is to be verified. Okay, so auditor has to see that. Then he has to check for commission amount when it is entered into the books of account, what are the documentary evidences that are available for that. So the commission amount that is entered, he can vouch it. That is, for that the documentary evidences that are available are the counterfoils, because when commission is received, definitely a receipt is issued for the same. Correct, no? Whenever a commission is received by the client, what the client will do, they are going to issue a receipt that so and so amount of commission is received. So when they are issuing the receipt, the counterfoil of the receipt is maintained. Correct. So that becomes a documentary evidence. So counterfoils are there, bank statements are there, cash receipts might be there. So all these actually it is connected with the amount of commission that is received. So auditor, when he is vouching the commission amount which is entered into the books of account, he has to also check the supporting document. So that is the counterfoils, the bank statements, the cash receipt. These are the the documentary evidences or the supporting documents which he has to properly go through. And in case if the goods are sold based on consignment basis, okay, you are aware of, when you go in the first year, we had consignment account, isn't it? So goods are sent to the agent who is at different place, goods are sent to him, and that particular agent, he is going to sell out the product. So the commission is involved in that also. Okay, so here when goods are sold on consignment basis, so what are the commission that is received? So amount of commission, they should be actually vouched with the reference of the copy of the account sale. Okay, because agent is involved here, and the account sale that he gives, based on that the commission amount should be thoroughly verified. Okay, and the rate of commission, it is known, so the calculation also should be gone through. The auditor has to also verify the calculation of commissions. Okay, and if at all certain amount of commission is outstanding, that is it's earned and it's yet not received, so outstanding commission, it should be properly treatment, that is a proper accounting treatment should be passed, that is a journal entry for the outstanding commission should be passed into the books of account, and auditor has to see that this amount is received. Okay, because outstanding commission, it is earned, it is not received, for that accounting treatment is passed, correct, in the books showing that amount is received. But he has to see that in the future the outstanding commission for which accounting treatment is passed, it is actually received. Okay, so this is all about the commission, how auditor has to vouch the commission related accounting treatment that is passed in the books of account. Okay, so students, today what we have discussed is what the precautions an auditor has to take care when he is vouching interest that is received on loan, then sale of investment, rent received, commission received, and also dividend on shares. Okay, so students, I hope you have understood. Just go through the slide once again, just go through the video once again, and you will understand it in more better way. Okay, so we will stop here today and we will continue it in our upcoming class. So thank you dear students, and have a nice day ahead.